So the other day I shared this tip with somebody, and I was on the phone talking to them, and I shared this tip about their fitness, and they said, please stop what you're talking about. And I thought, what do you mean? They said, I need a pen and paper to write down this tip because I think it's really going to help me be successful in my health and fitness journey. And today I want to share that tip with you. So I've got a beginner running program called Get Up to 5, and we take people from doing nothing to running 5Ks, and we've got our new group starting next week. And often what happens is I sometimes talk to people on the phone about joining our program. And I was speaking to a young girl in Auckland, and unfortunately she couldn't do our program because she lives in Auckland, and she was a kid who had been to school and was a real sporty person at school. So lots of netball, lots of basketball, and from what I could understand was to a pretty high level. And then she left school and started studying and had fallen away from her exercise. And we see this a lot with kids when they leave school, because one thing kids don't necessarily understand is when you're at school, you've got this amazing support network around you. You've got friends who tend to be into movement you like, you have coaching, teachers, you've got this great infrastructure around you that helps you be successful with exercise. And then you leave school and you might go to university or go to study, or you may even just go working, and you suddenly become a very independent person. If you think of the school experience versus the university experience, school is kind of way more nurtured and university is way more independent. And we often find that this is a moment that's real critical for young people's lives, because unfortunately a lot of fit kids go to university and they lose their exercise habit. And yesterday I was on the phone to a girl who had just gone through this situation. She'd been a sporty kid at school, she'd gone to university, study was tough and there was a lot of work, and she kind of focused on doing really well in this. But it was a couple of years down the piece, and she was in not a good place with her health and fitness. And she had put on, I think she said she put on like 10 kgs of weight, she wasn't really exercising much, and she was just feeling a bit crap about herself. And I said, what were the effects of this? And she said, A, the weight, but B, I'm just not in a very good place within my head. And I know that when I'm exercising, I feel way better about myself. And so I kind of listened to her for a while, and I said, can I give you some advice? And I started giving her some advice. But one thing she talked to me about was that she had got into getting into the gym, that she wanted to get back to playing netball and she wanted to get back to playing basketball. And she had joined the gym to get fit to get back to playing netball and basketball, but she was really struggling with the motivation to get to the gym. And so when it came to giving her advice, I gave her a few pieces of advice, but there's one key piece of advice, and I said, this is probably the most important piece of advice you may need to get. And as I said in the introduction to this video, as soon as I said the video, she said, can you stop for a second, because I need to write this down. And I said, it's good that you're getting back into your fitness right now, you're putting a barrier in front of yourself that's helping you be successful. Because what you're doing is you're saying, I need to get fit before I can get back to the thing that I love, the community that I love. Like, she is somebody who's done a lot of team sport, netball and basketball. And so what she's thinking to herself is, I'm not what I used to be, I'm not fit, and I'm a little bit overweight. So what I need to do is I need to get fit before I go back to my community. Now, in a way, that makes sense, doesn't it? I want to get fit before I go back to my community. You get this a lot of times, people think I need to get fit before I can even join a gym. But it's not the best strategy. And I said to her, to me, the best strategy you should think is community first. My first thing that I should be doing is getting to my community. Getting to community, and it might be not the community you had in the past, but your community of your netball world. Getting back to your netball world is the most important thing you can do. Because when you get back to your community, you're going to build friendships, you're going to have support network around you, there's going to be that accountability, that camaraderie, there's going to be the challenge of the training and the playing and all those types of things. If you put your focus on getting back to your community first, there's a much higher chance you're going to experience the motivation that you feel you're lacking right now. Because she was joined the gym, but she wasn't going all the time because it wasn't that stimulating, it didn't have the network, and she just wasn't doing the work that she needed to do, which ultimately meant she probably wouldn't have gone back to netball because she was never actually getting to the place she felt she needed to get to before she could progress. And so my advice to her was, make your first focus of getting back to your community first. Now, one thing I did say to her is that you need to understand that you're not what you used to be. So, when you're at high school and you're playing netball and basketball and you did a lot of exercise and you had less weight, you're a much higher version of yourself. And sometimes when people have that gap between where they lose their fitness and put on weight, when they come back, it's not a very nice experience because they're not what they used to be. And so I said, your first rule is get to your community first. Your second rule is to let go of your past. Just understand where you are right now. So when you come to a new community, realize that you're just going to have some fun. you're a little bit overweight, you're a little bit unfit, but that's okay, because if you stick to your community in a kind way to yourself, where you're embracing more of the fundamental things of connection and community, that the fitness will come. But don't go to the way where you're going, I'm not what I used to be. You are where you are right now, and just embrace this community with that attitude in place. If you can get this right, then what's going to happen is you're going to get to a place where you want to turn up often, which means you'll do the work, which means you'll get the fitness results. Now, this is a problem we see a lot in the area of health and fitness. People think that I need to get to a certain level before I can do this certain thing. And this can be a real restrictor, because often the thing that they have to do before they get to the certain level is not enjoyable, is not actually motivational, so they never actually get to that level, so they never go to the thing they want to do. This girl felt she had to get fit to get to netball, but she wasn't doing the work to get fit, so she probably would have never got to netball. Actually, the thing she wanted to do was just get to netball. And it's a really important lesson. We can see this in lots of areas of life. Like, I knew for myself as a piano player, I used to think to myself, I can only be a writer of music once I get to like grade 5 as a piano player. Instead, I just should write music. Doesn't mean I'm going to write great music, but I should just write music. And so as you're watching this right now, what's an area of your life where you think to yourself, I need to be this certain level before I get to try this thing? You know, is it fitness? Is it a hobby? Is it your career? Sometimes in life, we're better off just to go to the thing and grow from that moment forward. And the lesson this girl took from me was that in fitness, one of the best things you can do early on is get to your community quickly and understand where you are right now in a way that allows yourself to feel successful as you're walking down that pathway. If you enjoy my videos and you're not exercising, or you know somebody in your life who really struggles with exercise, I've got to recommend my new book, I Will Make You Passionate About Exercise. The purpose of this book is to take those who struggle with exercise from where they are to cementing the foundation that creates a lifetime love of exercise. It has all the steps, it has a plan, it has a journey that you go through that safely and wisely guides you to bringing exercise in your life in the most successful way possible. To get the book, go to www.passionaboutexercise.com. It will be the best thing you can do for your health and fitness. Get the book right now and you'll be seeing massive change in your health and fitness in a very short period of time.